Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of And Now You Know with Bette and Julz. I'm Bette.
And I'm Julz.
And we are recording this take 2 because we just recorded an entire 40-minute episode, and for some reason it didn't record.
That sometimes happens. That's the way life goes.
Hey, this is perfect for the topic today because what we're talking about today is holding on to bitterness and resentment and all the reasons why not to do it.
Yeah, and right now we're a little irritated because we recorded a really great episode that didn't get recorded.
But
we're not going to let it change our day.
Right. So let's talk about this because we had a conversation and we said that is a perfect episode to talk about, a perfect topic to talk about. And what I shared is I was watching an Oprah episode, and this was probably 15 years ago. And that impacted me so much. I want to say it was maybe even 20 years ago.
It was a long, she
was
was on a long time.
So she said this in an episode and it impacted me so much. I literally vividly remember the entire story. So I'm going to share it with y'all and then we're going to talk about it. So in the story, she was talking about a friend of hers and they had a falling out. Well, really, she felt like she was wronged by this friend of hers. And she spent all these years, they were no longer speaking, and she spent all these months and years, being upset with what she did to me and how could she do that and blah, 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 and was all these different things. And so she carried that around for quite a period of time. And then she saw her across the street. I think they were at a mall or a restaurant, or they were somewhere, an event, and she saw her from across the way. And here she was kind of carrying that, resentment and bitterness and being all huffy and stuff with this other person. And she looks over and they were over there laughing and eating and
looking
chatting, looking beautiful, living their best life, doing whatever. And it was at that moment that she realized that she was all upset and was like literally stayed in this energy of negativity for God knows how long. Meanwhile, that other person was totally carrying on like nothing ever happened.
Yep.
And what she said, what her lesson was that resentment is like you drinking the poison while you're expecting the other person to die.
It's the truth.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. It's like, we were talking about how you can get a little sticker or a thorn or something in your finger, a little splinter. And if you don't get it out, it's going to fester and get infected and be gross. Well, that's what can happen to your spirit if you let a situation that happened with an individual. We all live in this world, so there are going to be things that come up that we don't agree with, and there are some people that we just don't need to be friends with. But you don't want to carry that bitterness around inside of you.
Right.
Because things are going to come up, so you need to learn how to deal with it and let it go and be able to live a peace-filled, love-filled, joy-filled life and not harbor any anger or resentment or ill will towards someone.
Yeah. And we say all of this from a place of kind of been there, done that, where we have had
repeatedly.
Yeah. Been there, done that. There are people in our lives that whether intentionally or not, we felt like, wrongdoing by somebody else. We felt like they wronged us. And in some situations, really in all situations, you get to decide. You get to decide, does it emotionally hijack you? How long do you want to carry that negativity with you? And, you really don't need to do that because at the end of the day, you're causing yourself more harm.
And the thing that is bad about it is that it will bleed into your other relationships. Right. Because it's almost like having a cold. You don't want to go and let that infect everyone else. You don't want to have something contagious because bitterness will absolutely bleed into all, because it starts cracking your trust.
Yes.
And so if somebody does something to you and you let it just plant and root inside of you, you're going to start thinking that I'm not doing that with this person because that person over there hurt me with it. This person might be your person.
Right. So, and we mentioned this before where it's like when you go into a relationship, whether it's a brand new friend or a brand new potential partner
or a job
or anything like that, it's like I normally go in and I lead with, I'm loving, I'm trusting, I'm offering grace. I'm not expecting anybody to do me wrong. I'm not carrying in old feelings from the past that somebody else did and now placing that on everybody else. I don't do that.
Yeah, you can't overlay that.
You can't, because we will change the way you view people. You will change the way you treat people, and you're building a brick wall in front of yourself.
And it's only isolating you, because
is.
remember, that person's over there laughing, having a good time, enjoying life, while you're over here pouting at home, being alone.
Right. And one of the things, and so I want Julz to share this, but Julz was telling me about the social media thing.
Oh yeah, we were talking earlier, and I got a little bit butthurt because somebody unfriended me and blocked me, and I don't know why. But that it hurts you when you're like, oh, I haven't seen any updates on this person, and then you go in there and you can't find them, and it's like, what did I do?
Yeah. Well, and so this is where I say, for me personally, I have been unfriended by a couple people.
Social media can be a little rough.
It can be a little rough, but we were talking about this, about like facts versus feelings, right? And instead of getting offended, instead of letting myself worry about why they did that and why they don't like me and whatever, instead of doing all of that, number one, I say, really, seriously, that's kind of immature. Like, okay,
it's weird. I don't get it.
That's the first thing I would say. And then the second thing I'm going to say is, you know what? If they felt so strongly that they needed to unfriend me, okay, it's actually like, rejection and redirection is God's protection. So I actually would prefer them to deselect and go somewhere else than to know that they have this negativity on them while they're still stalking me, looking at my stories and trying to like follow up with me and whatever's going on in my life. If somebody really feels like they don't want to be a part of my life, I don't want them to be a part of my life.
Well, and in a way, it's kind of a hit on them, because it's almost like they don't want to see the good that's going on in
Maybe
your
they
life.
don't want to see your success. Maybe they're jealous about what you're doing.
Maybe.
Yeah. So there's so many different reasons why the person that we were talking about in particular in your situation, I don't think it had anything to do with you or me or anyone else. I think it had to do with them.
Yeah.
Because I know the story behind that.
Right.
I don't think it had anything to do with you.
But it still stung. Because I almost wanted to reach out and say, hey, something weird's going on with Facebook.
Nothing weird's going on with Facebook.
I know what's going on that's weird. And the thing about it is that it's a tough lesson to learn in life, because I don't know why somebody wouldn't like me. But my mom told me a long time. She said that she learned it when she was about 30, and it was so hard to find out that somebody didn't like her. But then she realized that she didn't like everyone. We can't love and like everybody. We just don't have the bandwidth for it. And we're just not cut from the same cloth. We don't get each other. So it's okay, but I don't know. It just still stung.
And I get that.
Yeah.
I totally get that. I think that the older that we get, for me, I'll speak for me. The older that I get, I realize that while I was younger, I was a social butterfly. I had all these friends. For me, it was, I guess, kind of like I wanted to be liked and seen a lot by many, right? And now I just don't care. Now I feel like my people are my people. I only want a tight circle around me of a community of friends that I know love me and trust me and inspire me and lift me up and support me. And, I want it to be a relationship that you give and take to your friends, equally. It's
got to be reciprocated.
It's got to be reciprocated. I don't want to be around people that, regardless of the relationship, I don't want to be around takers. No. I don't want to be around people that are entitled. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be around people that feel like they're better than and that have this chip on their shoulder. I don't want any of that. Mm-hmm. I come from a place of really my focus is, like you always say, it's really peace, love, and joy, right? Yeah. And so for me, I want to go into any relationship going in with peace and love and grace.
Yeah.
And
then you'll have joy.
Mm-hmm. But what you'll learn along the way is you can lead with those things, and people quickly they tell on themselves.
They do.
People, by their behavior, they will tell on themselves whether or not they should have a spot in your life. And it's
But you have to pay attention
You have to pay attention to it.
I mean,
you have to know, well, if you're not intentional about
Right.
the relationships that you have, about the kind of person that you want to be, the life you want to live, where you want to go, what kind of vision you have, this is why it matters for you to pay attention. Because what ends up happening is you surround yourself with people and you end up becoming like the people that are around you.
Absolutely.
So if you're surrounded by people that are not a match for you, then why are they in your space?
Well, and
because you're going to turn into them.
And you don't want to be the smartest person in your circle.
Right.
You want to hang out with people that are smarter than you.
Right.
That's why I hang out with Bette.
Well-
Because she's smarter than me.
Well, this is true for everybody. This is true for everybody.
I'm smarter than
because-
some things in her we're in different lanes.
Well, here's the thing. Iron sharpens iron.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you want to be around people that you can learn from.
And they hold you accountable.
Yes. Well, and vice versa, right?
Yep.
So you have something to offer for them to learn. They have something to offer for you to learn. And then you have this relationship that can be this living, breathing, thriving thing, right? That's what you want. You don't want dull, boring relationships that feel like people are shackled to your ankles and dragging you behind.
That you are chasing.
Or that you're
down.
chasing. I'm not chasing anybody.
No, we don't chase.
Absolutely
we learned, I think we learned that together. We
Yeah,
kind of coined that phrase in our relationship together, and we're like, I'm not chasing them anymore.
Yeah.
And that includes, that is not limited to just people outside of there are people in my family I'm not chasing.
Yeah, that's true. And with the whole thing of resentment, there are people that I've had experiences with, whether it was in my family or previous coworkers or just previous relationships, friendships, and that kind of thing, where sometimes people, I hate to say it this way, but sometimes people do have an expiration date as far as the relationship and what you were supposed to learn from them, how far or how many years they was supposed to be with you, the chapter of your life that you're stepping into. Not everybody can go with you because as you're evolving, the goal is that you're evolving and you're growing.
Yeah.
And if you're evolving and you're growing and people around you are refusing to grow and refusing to up-level themselves, then you really are outgrowing that group of people that are around you. And so it doesn't do, number one, it doesn't do you any good to hold any of the resentment or bitterness towards anybody that you're really outgrowing. Not to say that you're better than, but you're now in different seasons of your life.
Right. And I think a lot of times, especially in work situations, we meet these people and we see them every single day. We have lunch. We share a lot of things together. We share victories and successes. And those feel like really solid relationships, but they're work relationships. And those are very seasonal. And
They are because here's the thing, depending on where you are, the situation that you're in, you can't expect a job to last forever. You cannot. You
Not
cannot.
now.
And so if you're at a place where I have had amazing relationships at work at different companies that
We met at work.
We met at work.
But our relationship quickly took a turn.
It did.
From being rooted in work. It became rooted in this, what we're doing.
Right. And in this particular case, that happened, but that doesn't happen with every.
It hasn't happened with anybody with me.
Yeah, I have had relationships. Well, yeah.
Well,
you have. Yeah, there are other people that
I've worked with that I'm really good friends with. Yes.
I have had relationships from people that I worked with 20 years ago that are still friends of mine today.
Right.
And we developed a great friendship after we left the company.
Yes.
And we may have left it at different times or whatever, but it is possible to continue amazing relationships after. But that doesn't mean that every single person that you meet at a company or at a job that ends up being that kind of a connection.
You don't have time for it.
You don't have time for it. The older you get, you realize that life flies by.
Yeah.
You only live one life. The years go by super fast.
And the older you get, the faster it goes by.
Yep.
I remember when I thought people were old and now I'm their age. And now it doesn't seem like it's that old. Why is that? Why is that? You look at somebody who's like 60 when you're 30 and you're like, oh, they're so old. But then when you get that age, you're like, that's not that old.
Well, I don't know, because for me personally, my age right now, I mean, I can understand that, but I don't. I think things are changing so much. People always say, like, 40 is the new 20, or 40 is the new 30, and 50 is the new 30. And you have all these things that I just think things are changing so much that when I was a teenager, 40 used to be old.
Right.
40 used to seem, but people did look old.
They
then.
did.
They did look old.
They had bouffant hairdos and weird suits.
It was a different world.
Yeah.
Now you look at people in their 40s. I mean, there are, especially women that I see on social media that are 40s, 50s, 60s that are still dancing, still doing amazing things, have incredibly fit bodies, always talking about, how to be able to keep that up and
motion is lotion.
Motion is lotion. And I think it's really a choice. It's really a choice.
Everything's a choice.
Everything's a choice. And something that I had mentioned, I can't remember if I said it in this episode or the one that we lost already, the previous one, is that, when we talk about resentment and bitterness and all of those things, there are certain things that you can control in life and certain things you can't. But suffering is always optional.
Always.
Suffering is optional. There are things that we say.
In those kinds of things.
Yeah. Really, the resentment and the bitterness, what it can turn into for you, it can turn into illness, it can turn into negativity, and all of those things you are choosing to keep. You are choosing to let that weigh you down. Yeah. So that kind of stuff is optional.
It can make you get fat. It raises up your cortisol levels.
So many things.
And that makes you get fat. It creates stress and...
which is not good for any part of you at all, for your mental health or your physical.
It's not. And you don't have to be mean to someone, but you can, you can just say, I'm going to love you from a distance. Get it to a place with those people that have offended you and go talk to them about it.
Yep.
And then set your boundaries, and then you make that relationship what you need it to be in your life from a healthy standpoint.
And when we talk about that, forgiveness and letting go of those things, that doesn't mean that you are excusing behavior.
Right.
That doesn't mean that you are allowing them to stay in your life and disrespecting you and causing all sorts of chaos or whatever.
No, because
that doesn't mean that. That doesn't mean that. That means that you choose you. That means that you choose forgiveness, to let go of it so that you can be in a healthy frame of, body, mind, and spirit, right? For yourself, and that you can move forward with clarity and with peace.
Yeah, because if somebody offends you and then they come and apologize, there needs to be change in their behavior attached to that apology. And if they continue to do that repeatedly, first of all, they've got a character flaw. And second of all, you are allowing them to continue to offend you over and over and over. And so you're in this dance with them. And because I did have an individual who repeatedly offended me and then would use my faith and my beliefs as a weapon. And it's like, if you love Jesus so much, then you've got to forgive me. Well, forgiveness and then allowing them to continue to hurt you when you know they're going to, because there's been no repentance attached to that apology. You're making a choice to let them treat you that way.
Right.
And every now and then you've got to go, I can't talk to you anymore. I can't have this relationship with you anymore because I am constantly upset and angry with you. And I've got to get to a place to where the forgiveness is rooted inside of me for you so I can love you from a distance. And then you start healing yourself from the inside out.
Yep. This is the thing that I do believe, even for somebody that you feel like, did you wrong, and whether or not you choose to keep them, sometimes you do have to move people out. Yeah. The thing for me is that if you're always thinking about love, I think loving, compassion, and grace will always sit well with you. It's always the right way to go. Now, I know that there are instances where somebody may have done something that was so horrific.
But you can still get to a place where you can love them from a distance.
But you can still get to a place, and it's really...
And that's for you.
That is for you. It's not about excusing them. It's about you being able to move forward in your life and give yourself what you deserve, peace and love, and give yourself an opportunity to heal from whatever that was, or, ending the relationship, moving on to another one, switching the job if you need to, whatever the situation is. Anytime that you are holding on to it and you want to be bitter and you want to be resentful and you want to you somehow think that you being angry and mad is gonna do something wrong to them.
I'm gonna get them by being mad at them all day today.
It's not gonna do anything to them, and chances are they haven't given it 1 second of their time. And really, who's that messing with now? You.
That's the whole point of this.
That is the whole point of this. The whole point is for you to take control. You made a comment earlier. We weren't recording when you made this point, when you were talking about somebody else's power. They think that you're more powerful. Say what you said. Say what you said.
Well, it's just funny. It had to do with the social media thing. And a situation had gone on. And I do think that this individual thought that I had so much power. And then that created resentment in this individual. And I haven't seen them in quite a while, but I can feel it.
Yeah.
I know without a doubt, I don't have that much power.
Okay, that's exactly what she said. Thank you for saying that. That's exactly what she said, and this is the point that I want to make.
I didn't create the situation.
She didn't create the situation, but when she made the statement of, I don't have that much power, this is where I say, we'll stop right there, because I do believe that we each have power over ourselves. We do.
Yes.
We have power. But this is exactly the point I want to make. That other person is giving her power away to you.
Yep.
That other person they are so emotionally hijacked.
Yep.
They have let themselves be controlled by this whole exterior thing of a thing that you didn't even do.
No.
But they have chosen to be in that place.
I was living my life.
Yes. So they are choosing to hand you over their power, and they are also choosing to stay in a place of suffering.
Yeah, but I don't want their power.
Yeah, no.
I'm the person over here having fun eating ice cream.
Yeah.
And it's not affecting me except, that social media thing stung a little bit, but I've let it go. We're talking about it right now just because this is an episode that we want to talk about. And social media can create a lot of hurt in people.
It can. Because
really
you see, I'll give you another example with social media. When you see people posting about fun things that they're doing and you're thinking to yourself, hey, why wasn't I invited? Hey, why wasn't this? Hey, well, wait a minute. I knew about blah, 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 whatever the situation is. I have seen that happen, and I know for me, I remember thinking, I did see something where I thought to myself, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that was happening. And it would have been nice to have been invited to that. I remember thinking that. And at the same time, I thought to myself, there is so much going on in my life right now. And here's the thing. There are some times that I forget about other people. I forget to call them. I forget to reply to them. I forget to reach out to them. I forget people's birthdays. There's a lot of things that happen. And so in a moment like that, where everybody has so much going on in their lives, that's where I feel like a little grace is needed.
I agree.
Where I'm not going to let myself I'm not a grudge person. I will not hold a grudge because I know
because again, it's
because I know it affects
you.
me.
Exactly.
It affects me. So instead of getting all huffy and they didn't blah, 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 instead of doing all that, I'm going to say, okay, well, I'm just going to give them grace that either they forgot, they were too busy, maybe I wasn't the right fit for whatever event that was, maybe whatever the situation is. You might have a little bit of a sting in the beginning, but just let it go. Don't carry it on.
That's life.
Because it's life. It's life. And you know what? People may be looking at you because you excluded them from something.
Right. You don't know.
You don't know.
Really
you don't know.
I mean, we don't do things intentionally.
We don't do things intentionally.
I don't set out every day and think about who I'm going to go out there and hurt. That's not how I am. I'm more the kind I want to give a smile to a stranger because I don't know what kind of day they're having, and maybe my smile will keep them from doing something crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
You just show kindness because you don't know.
Oh my gosh, this just reminded me of Chicken Soup for the Soul books. You remember those books?
Those were good.
There was an amazing story in one of those books. Oh my gosh, I remember it made me cry.
Oh.
And I'll share it because if you haven't heard this is a good story. So there was this kid, and I want to say they were probably, I'm going to say middle school age, but I'm not sure if it was middle school or high school age, but let's just say middle school. This boy who was middle school age, and he was having a really hard time at home, and was going to school and just really felt like he was lost, really felt like he was alone, really just felt like he was kind of drifting, and really had no roots, no anchor, no nothing, right? And so this one day, this kid was carrying home, he was emptying out his locker, and he was going to carry home, his books, his papers, his backpack. He was carrying all this stuff, and he was fumbling. He was fumbling with it. He was trying to hold it all, and he couldn't hold it. And this other kid came up to him and said, "Hey, can I help you carry some stuff? Can I help you carry that?"
The story.
You know the story?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's such a good story.
Such a good story.
And so he said, "Hey, let me help you." I don't even want to tell the story because I think I'm going to cry.
It's okay.
Now I get to the point where, I think I'm literally at the point where, you're going to have to finish the story if I can't finish it. But anyway, so the second boy was like,
"Let me help you.
Let me help you carry. Let me help you carry.
Let me help you carry your load."
And so he's helping him. Well, then they become best friends.
Yes.
Oh, you know
I've got goosebumps all over.
So they became best friends, and years go.
At graduation.
Yeah.
The boy that was packing his books.
Well, yeah. So they
was
became
valedictorian.
and so they were so tight. And they became amazing friends. Okay, so now you tell the rest of the story. Let's see if you can do it without crying.
Well, if it's the same story, they were graduating from high school, and the boy that was emptying out his locker was valedictorian, and so he was doing his speech. Is this the same story?
I'm not sure of that particular point of the story, but keep going. When you tell the rest of it.
So the story I heard is that he acknowledged this friend who reached out and showed kindness, because he was going to go home and he had decided that he did not want to be here anymore.
It's that story.
And now I've got a lump in my throat, but I don't care if I cry. So if that boy had not extended that kind of grace and love and concern, he cared, this kid needed somebody to care about him.
Right.
And so the point of this story is that you don't know what a kind word, what a kind action, what a smile, how it can truly change the course of a person's life.
Yeah, because you don't know what's going on in anybody else's life.
No.
You have no idea what somebody else is carrying. Yeah, it's true.
It's exactly what happened to us.
You don't know what somebody else is carrying. You have no idea what they're dealing with day to day. And so just at that moment where you can feel like, and this is why I also feel like if you are somebody who's negative all the time and carrying resentment and constantly inwardly focused on woe is me, negativity, how can you show up to be kind and give grace to somebody else for maybe that kind of situation?
My grandmother used to always say, if I was having a pity party, complaining, growing up complaining. Well, first of all, she would tell me to go soak my head in a bucket of water, and because you can't keep your head in a bucket of water for very long because you can't breathe. So she would say, you need to go soak your head in a bucket of water. And then she would say, I'm going to need for you to walk out the front door and start walking down the street. And I need you to be aware of the people who are out there. And it's not going to take you very long to find somebody who's got a situation 10,000 times worse than what your situation is. And go help them, and then you're going to feel really good about your day. Mm-hmm. Go be a blessing to someone. Don't carry this garbage inside of you because somebody unfriended you on Facebook. And I know that there are harsher things. I've lived through harsher things.
Oh, for sure. And, that was just
I could be so angry right now. I'm thinking of one person in particular, and I know you know who I'm thinking of, but I don't want to. I understand that this person is a person, and this person has got their own broken pieces inside of them, and I saw the good things about this person, and that's what I want to reflect on about them.
Yeah, and see, this is
because I want to love him anyway. Them. I want to be able to
that
love
person.
I want to be able to love that person from a distance.
for those of you that, some of you watching know us, know us really well, but really the point is that this is being heard by a lot of people that don't know us yet. And the point that we want is for this to reach people specifically somebody going through an experience where this is getting you at the exact moment in time where what we're saying resonates with you and can actually make an impact in your life and change it around for you. And what I will tell you that for people that don't know Julz, you see her as this super upbeat, bubbly, and is super fun. And we're always like, we are the life of the party. We are the ones that
we're very loud.
Yes, we are the door greeters to let people into parties. We are the people that are constantly hugging.
We're huggers.
Yes,
we
are those people.
We love to love, and we love big, and we love
we do.
hard.
And we do. And the thing that you wouldn't know about Julz, if you didn't know her story, is all of the things she has, I think. She has so many reasons why she could be a negative Nelly, and it would be rightfully so. She has so many things that she has gone through in her life where she was absolutely wronged by many, many people, very harshly in many cases, where she could be, sitting here being like one of those and not wanting to be loving and kind and compassionate. She absolutely could, but instead she chooses not to be. Which is the whole point of why you shouldn't choose to drink the poison.
Right.
Don't drink the poison of resentment because it doesn't do you any good. It's not going to improve your life. It's actually going to make it worse because it's going to decline your health and decline every other aspect of your life where you're not going to see the magic of life. You're not going to see an opportunity to bless someone else. You're not going to see, the blessing of just the sun shining. Right. You're going to miss all the magic because you're so inwardly focused having a pity party.
Well, the one thing that I have learned in my life, and I had the good fortune of being raised in a magical childhood and being, I went to church, I think, when I was like 3 days old. So I marinated in good stuff. Now, then my dad died and all things went to hell, but it got a little rough then, and then I got all broken. But it led me to, I don't know why he had to die and mess everything up.
No, I know, but you said that so funny. Oh my gosh.
But what it made me realize is I can look at people and hurt people.
Yes, they do.
And so I like to try to get in there and have a better understanding of them. It doesn't mean that I'm going to let them just browbeat me constantly and ridicule. I don't. I'm not a pushover. I will let you know that too. And I can come back pretty fiercely. And Betty's seen it.
She's very scrappy.
I am my sister.
Her nickname is Scrappy.
Yeah, people call me Scrappy. So because I can get pretty fired up about things that, especially if it's somebody that I love. Don't ever talk about Betty in front of me unless you're saying, because I will let you have it.
That's true.
I will. So, but you do. That's where the grace comes in, and that's where you're like, wonder what happened to make this person be so bitter.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I also have learned to not cast my pearls before swine,
which is another one of my favorites.
There are some people that aren't qualified to receive my goodness, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to love them from a distance.
Yes. Yes.
Because that's about me. If they want to spend some time with me and us have a chat about what's going on, I'll absolutely do that. But they can't sit there and tell me it doesn't work, because it has worked. The work that I've done on myself, the work that I've seen Betty do, I know for a fact that what I have to say and what she has to say works, and it changes lives.
Oh my gosh, it absolutely does.
And we're happy.
Yes.
In all circumstances.
In all areas, yes.
You can have peace and contentment.
Yes, you can come from all of the things that Julz has experienced, all of the things that I have experienced, and I can tell you, when you decide to it's not only just about changing your mindset, but actually doing the work and cleaning it all up. If you decide to go on this healing journey, which we both have separately and together, she started it way before.
Yeah.
And for me, I could tell you I am a completely different person today. This is now 5.5 years post-divorce, when I once thought that divorce was literally like the ultimate failure and I'd rather be dead than divorced. So, and I have said that before.
Yep.
So the fact that I could be sitting here today, living my best life, having such amazing experiences in my life, surrounded by the most incredibly beautiful people. Now in my life, 5.5 years later, I'm a completely different person. I have all brand new, like a whole new outlook. And it's not that I was never a negative person before.
No, never.
I was never a
She
negative
was
person.
sunshine walking in the room always.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that when experiences knock you down to your knees, you have a choice of whether or not you want to stay down. That's
And
what I'm talking about.
I happened to be in the room when Betty got down, knocked on her knees.
Yeah.
Because God put us there together so I could pick her up.
Yep.
And it
Yep.
is a lovely, lovely thing that has
Well,
happened.
and you know what? That is a moment of the locker.
Yes, it is. It is. It is.
That's so
It
sweet.
is.
That just came to me. Yeah.
And I had no idea how invisible Betty was when she was out there.
I hid myself in plain
did.
sight.
She
Like
did.
that. This is, we talked about it on another episode where the gift of compartmentalizing your emotions, and that is a gift and it's a curse.
Yeah.
Because you can appear. I could show up in the room and I could be happy and shiny and presenting and training and doing all of this stuff. Meanwhile, my soul was suffering.
And that's a little bit of what social media is. It makes people really feel like they aren't cutting the mustard because they're comparing themselves to what people are posting. But I was just reading this one post this morning, and it was a couple, and they were beautiful, and they had their little kids. And she wrote, "Isn't this picture beautiful? Don't we look like a happy family?" And then she said, "But this isn't who we are." And I read a lot of things about narcissism and abuse, and because those are the women that I really want to help. I want them to understand that there is a significant trauma bond there, and that people are like, "Why don't you just get out?" Well, that's not how it works. So that's a big focus of mine. Don't let the airbrushed covers of magazines make you think that a superstar who's your age doesn't have wrinkles,
Right.
and imperfections. I mean, we could all be airbrushed and look like that.
Right, right. You just reminded me of there was a girl. I want to say she was in her either late 20s, maybe early 30s, but super young. I think that's super young.
It is.
And this girl, I believe she was I don't know if she was like Miss America or she was some kind of a pageant winner.
Okay.
Right? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful girl. And I'm not going to say the S word because I don't want to get flagged on this thing, but I'm
No.
going to say she unalived herself.
Oh my
And
goodness.
everybody thought that she was gorgeous and had a beautiful life. Everybody thought that everything was so perfect in her life. And then that happened. And then it left all these questions of what happened. So it's like, you never know what's happening in somebody's life.
And that's why you want to show grace and love and kindness to everyone.
Including yourself.
Especially yourself. We
Yeah.
just recorded an episode. It's not been uploaded yet, but it's about saying I'm sorry to you. Mm-hmm. Because I easily forgive people. Mm-hmm. But then I'll go home and look myself in the mirror and call myself all kind. I don't anymore. But I used to, man. I used to just looking myself straight in the eye and beating myself up. So anyway, our timer went off, so it's a wrap. And
Yeah.
this is such a big, huge subject.
It is.
Don't let things fester inside of your soul.
Yep.
Don't. Because it's only going to affect your life. It's going to affect your health. It's going to affect your outlook. Just understand what you are in charge of and go out there and make your world inside of you happy so you can let your sunshine on others.
Yeah, and if you are listening to this right now and you find yourself in a place where you feel like everything's a mess and you feel like you're not where you want to be and you feel like somebody has wronged you and you are swirling in all of this kind of despair and uncertainty and negativity, that's okay. It happens to everybody. It happens to everybody, and that's okay. And there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. But from today, moving forward, you can decide that you want to clean all that up, find some peace, give yourself some grace, apologize to yourself for everything that has happened in the past, and then let it go and take the steps to move forward to be able to create a better world. And you're totally right when you just said that, like the external, if you are living with peace, love, and joy in your heart, your external is peace, love, and joy.
It is.
Absolutely. But if you have chaos and resentment and bitterness and negativity and all of this swirling in your life and in your heart, that is what you're living on the outside too. That is what's happening.
And maybe there's somebody that you need to apologize to. Extend that, and they get to do with it what they want. But
that's not your responsibility.
No, it's not. You've extended the olive branch, and now the ball's in their court.
Right.
And then you find your peace around that.
Yep.
So.
Yep. So thank you everybody for joining us in the comment section below. As we always, we love to hear from y'all. If you have a comment, if you want to share some feedback, if you want to share a topic, idea, something that you want us to talk about, share our opinion or whatever, you can do that there, or you can send us an email directly that we personally respond to. hello@bettyandjulz.com, BETTE.
And JULZ.
And please subscribe.
Tell everybody.
Tell everybody we just uploaded episode number 27.
And it's good.
And it's really
like
good.
it.
So we are, we're still relatively new, and we upload new episodes every Monday. So if you are now just joining us for the first time, watch this episode and go back and watch all 27 others that are there. Actually, this one won't be number 28, but you can still go on there and watch all the other ones. And then, write some comments on there, subscribe, tell your friends about it, share, click the link and share with somebody else that you think would love this information. So thank you for joining us today. We so appreciate your time, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one.
Bye.